Hello there, my name is Tenarium, and today we've got a new thing going down, right? Are you excited? You better have your excited pants on, because if
You
you
better be.
don't, yeah, we'll be with you. You may have heard another voice. I can't improvise that quickly with accents. So, hello Patrick from Trying Morning of YouTube, of visual novels and such. How are you doing?
Thanks, Chris. I'm doing fine. We got some nice VNs ahead of us. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
ironically at all.
No, no, in no way. So for those wondering what this is, Patrick and I have played 6 visual novels. We're going to sit down and talk about them. So it will sort of give a chance for good visual novels to have a bit of a spotlight. You can all try them yourselves. And we'll mostly be rubbishing the bad ones. Which, I mean, luckily, this episode's probably going to be full of that.
Yeah, I
Because,
think so.
yeah, Jesus Christ, we did not get lucky with some of our picks. I think that is the only good thing, because we chose all of these at random. We did not get lucky with it. Although, saying that, the first one we did, I think we only have ourselves to blame for picking something like this.
Well, I mean, just looking at the title card on VNDB,
Mm,
hmm,
mm. You, you,
maybe we
you, you,
shouldn't have gotten our hopes up.
yeah, you'll see it on the screen at the moment. That is the genuine sort of cover art for this
Yeah.
game.
And
So,
when the title looks like it was drawn by someone who's 5 years old and is at a restaurant with their parents, kind of not the most promising start.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not even parallel, is it? It
I don't believe so. They weren't
I
using a ruler or straight edge for this one.
yeah. They were in a restaurant with cranes with a 5-year-old. Come on, I think asking for a rule is a bit too much.
They tried using the round plate as the straight edge.
Yes, that's not even a real play. Where were they eating? Were they eating some like bootleg McDonald's or something? They went, yes, yes, this is plate. Don't mind, don't mind. You'll go color now. And it's just like this triangular thing.
Something like
Oh,
that.
but yeah, let's read the bio out for you, shall we? War has broken out all across the world, and for the hapless residents of a small American town, they don't have a clue what's going on. Now, Patrick and I did play this together, the only game we did, on Skype. There are a number of issues alone in that opening sentence, but let's just sort of read it for you first. Bombs are raining down every day, their town is sealed off, communications aren't working, and all they can wait for is a confusing and merciless death. It sounds good, doesn't it? You see what I mean when we said we only had ourselves to blame for this first one? Until one day, 2 strangers arrive on a motorbike offering a chance not only for escape, but for salvation. 20-year-old Rachel, however, hang on, however, after all of that, has other problems to worry about. So,
Naturally.
naturally, of course, there are bombs flying down and they're waiting for a confusing and merciless death. But apparently, there are other problems to worry about. You see, she doesn't think she is right in the head. Sometimes she thinks there's another person living inside of her. Sometimes she thinks she's insane. She thinks her head is darkness. Roll credits. So basically, we play as that sort of other person in her head.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's only one way to go about this, isn't it? God, this was shit. It was really quite bad. Apparently it was 20 minutes long.
It said it was 20 minutes long, but it went much longer than that, I felt.
They,
Maybe it just felt that way, but I think it actually did.
we stopped occasionally just to giggle at certain things, but we fucking skim read through most of that, and it still took longer than 20 minutes. Like, I was skipping through it most of the time. So you start off in this sort of town and you're being bombed and you're sort of talking to yourself a little bit. And the first choice you get as you're wandering along is there's a woman on the floor. She's sort of like in shock, sort of like just lying there. And you think, should I get some head shears and cut her throat? Now, I don't know about you, but I'm almost certain that's not a merciless death. A
I'm
bomb
pretty sure it's
falls
the
on...
opposite.
Yeah, yeah. A bomb falls on you. Chances are you're going to be all over the place before you realise it. Right? That's not going to hurt, really, is it? But being cut, like, having your slit throat by head shears, and the character justifying it by going, "Oh yes, well it's a merciless death." And then we have all of her neighbours who, I mean, for whatever reason, they've stuck around in this village. I don't know why. Apparently, they don't know who's bombing them or what's causing it.
No, and apparently
But
they're still being bombed as this game is going on, even though it's been bombed before, for some
yeah,
reason.
yeah, so it's just some evil person, like some 4-year-old with like a bombing machine just sitting there going, well, I mean, haven't got any orders. Yeah, why not? Press button again. But they haven't sort of gone out, and I think there's like 6 or 7 of them or something. They're not even on first name terms with one another.
Yeah, she only bothered to memorize half of them.
Yeah, at one point she goes, no, I can't quite remember that person's name. What? You've been here for years! Like, at the one point in the story, they say, oh yeah, well, we've been here like 2 years. 2 years? And you can't remember that person's name? It's not like there's a lot of people to remember. It's not like a party where you've been thrust into it half drunk and being like, okay, well, this is so. Okay, enjoy! Like, they've had 2 years and it's still like, oh, yes, well, Mr. Brown over there was most displeased with my last's performance. Oh, God.
Well, to be fair, her head is darkness.
Her head is indeed darkness.
That explains
And
everything.
yeah, now to think about it, the more you sort of think about the title, considering we're in her head, the more it doesn't make sense because you can just be nice.
Also doesn't make sense because almost the entire game takes place in her head and her head narration. So I'm pretty sure there's more in her head than just darkness.
Yeah, and oh boy, the flashbacks in this game as well. Oh boy, they just happen. They happen whether you like it or not. Oh God. And considering, like, okay, let's just go back for the bio. Bombs are raining down every day. Now, Patrick, you and I both played this together. We both saw what the art looked like. Would you care to explain to me how this terrible war-torn town looked like?
Well, it looked like it was someone who took a bunch of photos and didn't know about the autofocus button.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty much all it is. There's no art at all other than the cover, which is lovely, of course. But the whole rest of the game is just photos, which either someone took or they just lifted from the internet. It could be either one.
Yeah, it's just like rubble of like a half-built building. And there's this lovely thing where, you know, considering, again, I have to remind you, bombed every day, years now, right? There's this beach, it's fucking lovely looking. There's like, you know, it's sort of like dark sand. I can't quite remember what it was. You see, you know, like dark sand and like a bit of mud.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fine. For a war-torn bomb beach, it looks fucking beautiful. Right? If I was getting bombed, I would have no problem with my beach looking like that.
Right.
And
If
also,
I remember correctly, we even have a man swimming in the background.
yeah. Yeah, that's the point. In the photo, there are still people walking along. It's like, fuck me, you look chirpy for a post-apocalyptic event. But yeah,
Well, they do have other problems than the bomb. Let's remember that.
yeah. They do have other problems with the bomb. Well, I mean, I could present you to more than one person who'd rather get bombed than spend half an hour in a room with me. So there is that. But the game goes on. And some bloke, rather insensitively to start, shows up on a motorbike with this woman. And he starts going, I've got a machine. It can turn us all into gods. And it will change your lives. Not quite explained how. It must be said. And within... Okay, right. For all of you who've seen recently my Incolore series... When that guy comes up to you, you've just met him and he goes, I love you. That's what we did, but with his female companion. Within seconds of her arriving, we're just like, I I think I love her. And then this is where you sort of get the illusion of choice, but not quite the choice, because you can go, no, that's fucking ridiculous. You've known her for like seconds. Why on earth would you fall in love with her? Or you can go, yeah, no, that's completely reasonable. Regardless of what you pick, you're still going to have the same dialogue later on. You're still going to love her.
I'm pretty sure that's a theme of the game.
Yeah. Basically, I chose the good options, and Patrick, without me even telling him to, chose the bad options.
It was more fun that way. Stabbing the lady.
Yeah.
Which was never acknowledged.
Yeah, the lady on the ground. I was like, oh yeah, I'll probably pass that. What did you do, Patrick? And he was like, oh, I cut her throat.
You know,
just
I
like that.
stabbed her.
Yeah,
I want to see where it'd go.
Turns
Didn't
out,
spice the game up at all.
yeah, turns out fucking nothing changes. But then, yeah, you get to this like new place where the machine is, and the first person that goes into the machine comes out with, think like his face on the back of his head or something. You don't get to see any of this, of course. You get to see white walls. None of this happens. And then he collapses to the floor, and then I think your mate who arrived on the motorbike comes along, and he goes in and he comes out fine. So I think all of you go in there. Has it?
It's
No,
not very,
no.
very well explained.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to remember, because they all still go in at once, but the scientist has a little bit of a pop at you before, and he goes, right, no one touched this button at all. So Patrick and I fucking put our Sherlock Holmes hat on and went, right then. We'll see what happens if we do press it. So I went first, and I didn't press it. And the person that we supposedly loved when they went in survived because we didn't press the button. And eventually we sort of accompanied her around Earth. And then, Patrick, can you tell me what happened when you did press the button, please?
You know, I'm a bit hazy on this, but I think when we pressed the button, the same thing happened.
Yep. One line of dialogue changed. It was, oh, well, thank God I pressed the button because she was saved. What? Like, this isn't choices. Like, this is ridiculous. Oh, apparently there are 3 endings. And one is you can just not go with the motorbike guy and then you just die to bombs. And then I couldn't find the 3rd ending.
Me neither. Unless there were subtle differences in the dialogue at the end that we didn't notice, and maybe those are supposed to be different endings.
Yeah, saying that, I don't think I got to my ending. I'm pretty sure I just hit Alt F4 before I got to any of that. I was like, oh, okay, exactly the same, is it? Okay. I cannot recommend this game less. I really can't. It's not even one of those so bad it's good. I mean, we created our own humor, but if you do something together with someone, it's always fun.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't count. Like, multiplayer in games, does not count as fun because you can do anything fun with friends. So, oh god. I think my rating for this game would be somewhat on the lines of, What about yours?
Yeah, I say skip this one. There's nothing here to really see. It's not even good at all. No good art. No, the music. We completely skipped over the music. I think there were 2 tracks in the entire game, maybe.
There were 2 tracks in the entire game. I shit you not. I muted it after 5 minutes. And I was like, no, I'm putting Final Fantasy X music on. I am not listening to this. Oh god, it was dreadful. It really was. So yeah, shall we move on to the next game that only you played? I would have played it.
Oh, well, this is going to be good, especially since I was just half skimming this one as well.
Oh, goody. Good, yeah, see, the most professional we are here.
This will probably be like a 1-minute summary, if that. So the next game we played... What, were you going to say something?
Yeah, you got to read the bio. Remember to read the bio.
Oh, the bio. At least that'll waste some time. Let's see.
Yeah, it helps convey that, that emotions, man.
Okay, let's read the whole bio for this one. This game is called Dis. A would-be writer, beset by emotional issues, lives life minute to minute until a string of strange events conspire to reveal that life isn't all what it seemed. End of bio. That was it.
That's it.
So,
that's it. There's 2 lines. Also, fucking Ren'Py defaults everywhere. That's
Yeah.
all the menu options are. There's like some vague sort of cover art, which, don't get me wrong, it's better than I Think My Head is Darkness, but that's not too much better.
Yeah, it still doesn't really say anything about the game at all itself.
Well, other than it may feature green.
It may feature green. Green is a thing. So, Dis is a game where you play as a protagonist who I'm not even sure if you get his name. Honestly, I don't recall.
Or her, stop being sexist.
Or her, of course, yes. It could be a her. I don't really know if they specified at all because, well, character development isn't really much of a thing in this game. So you start out...
The developer's name is Problem Gamer Katie. Chances are they're like a 13-year-old bloke. I think we can safely assume it's a guy. But go on.
So he sort of has this narrator who, for some reason, is having a row with his roommate, and he goes outside in the middle of the night, and he hears a girl arguing with her boyfriend. The girlfriend goes outside, and he has a short conversation with her, which doesn't really go anywhere. Later on, he goes inside, and he ends up having a conversation with his roommate. He finds out from the roommate that the argument that he thought was just last night actually happened a couple of days ago. So that's pretty much the theme of this game. This guy keeps on passing over memories, like he has some kind of amnesia or something, and he can't recall what happened in the time in between. There's a bunch of events like this that take place. At one point, he meets the girl again, and she says something about how she wants him to watch his dog or her cat. Once again, that doesn't really go anywhere because he, once again, forgets what happens and ends up never watching the pet. And the next thing you know, the guy's in a hospital. So from there, he gets referred to a psychologist, and the psychologist ends up being the girl. Well, he has a brief session with her, which, again, doesn't really go anywhere. Basically, he just confirms that, yeah, he can't remember anything that's happening. So at that point, he goes home. And when he returns to his apartment, he finds out that he's been kicked out because he hasn't been paying the rent for a few months. Which I guess somehow he's been homeless all this time, but he doesn't remember what's been happening, so... Whatever.
Did they not notice, like, the smell of him? He's like, Christ. The last time I looked at it down at my t-shirt, I'm sure I didn't take a shit down on it, but now, did he not notice? Like, a rather long beard as well.
Well, I mean, he could have noticed maybe, but he doesn't remember himself noticing because he only remembers, like, bits at a time, which that's the theme of the game for some reason. Mm-hmm. But it gets a bit more complicated later on, which I'll get to shortly. So from there, of course, his natural reaction is he goes to the apartment of the girl who's now his psychologist, and he stays with her because, you know, that's definitely a fine thing to do when you're a patient and you're staying with your doctor.
Yeah, there is nothing about professionality being broken here whatsoever.
So, I mean, this goes on for a bit, and honestly, I can't remember the rest of the story. It's a bunch of shit that I'm skimming over at this point because it was just pointless. But the plot twist at the end is that he's actually in some kind of experiment, and, like, the world is actually over, and he's, like, one of the last people left, I think. And I don't know. It was a terrible twist, and it was just stupid.
What?
That's all I can say.
Did they not have better things to do? Like, how would you even go about doing that?
Don't ask me. It was something about how...
Like, if they supposedly drugged him and this wasn't happening over the course of months, why would you go through that amount of effort just to pull that off? That is so ridiculous. What? For those that haven't noticed, I didn't play this game. I took one read of the bio and went, nope. But, really? It doesn't seem like there's any plot. It's just some random fuck in his life, and then they're hoping the plot twist kind of makes sense.
That's pretty much it, yeah. A bunch of random stuff happens to this guy, which is weird, and you don't know what's happening. And then at the end, it's just, well, he's just the last person left on Earth, and he's in some kind of experiment, which I don't even know what it involves. Just reliving random stuff.
Did they try and explain it, like, in any sort of coherent way?
There is some kind of explanation how he was originally a real person, but he died during, like, a psychological case trial. And then,
come on, and what?
And then they recreated his personality, and that was what it was. I don't know. And there's something about how they were creating a drug, and the drug that they created actually killed everyone in the end, so I guess that's the ironic twist.
Did they not think of just giving it to one person before they were like, right, this is fine, just give it to everyone we know? Did they not think that was a good idea?
No. When you're in a visual novel world, you don't need any kind of logic or anything like that. I don't even know what he had to do with the rest of the stuff about the drug, because it didn't seem to have anything to do with that. Unless the whole Matrix-like thing was somehow related to an experiment. I have no clue.
If the world had ended, where were they even doing these tests from? Did they have some secret laboratory? How? Wait, hang on a second. When you said they gave a drug to people and then everyone died, you mean the whole world died?
I don't know if it was the drug itself or if the drug somehow created a second virus that wiped everyone out. I was really skimming over this stuff, and at that point I didn't care because it was a stupid twist.
Oh my god, that sounds so bad. I love how it's basically just like, for a while, it's just some fuck in his life that you don't care about, and then suddenly you're like, anyway, here's an irrelevant plot twist, which I thought it was a good idea, but I didn't quite know how to integrate it into the story. So I didn't. Here's a twist. What? Oh my god, that sounds so bad. Well, thank you very much, Patrick, for playing that.
You're very welcome.
And relieving me of the duties of doing so, because I probably would have had a fit. What would you rate that game?
I would rate it, don't even download. It's not worth the waste of space on your computer.
Don't even download. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so should we move on to our next one then? Seduce Me.
If you can't tell, things are going well so far.
Yeah, well, they're going to take a slight pickup.
Yeah.
But not by much. Like, good in the sense that, let's say, there's no longer capital punishment in your country. It's just a whole life in prison. It's still not much better. Let's think of it like that. So this is from Seraphim Entertainment. I told someone that and it meant something to them. I hadn't heard of them before.
Neither have I.
No, you haven't heard of them at all. I'm
Nope.
somewhat glad. They made like Love Pizza or something, which a few people apparently liked, but I never played it. So the bio is rather long-winded, so I'm not going to read it. Instead, I'm going to review this game at some point, so think of this as a kind of spoiler preview. Right. Patrick, I want you to close your eyes.
Oh, they're closed.
They've been closed the whole time, haven't they? But, right, close your eyes. I want you to imagine this, right? So I'm going to set a time. So, imagine you're in class. It's raining outside. You've sort of lost your train of thought. You're sort of, just watching the droplets fall down one by one. Wondering about life. You're not particularly interested in this class. Suddenly the teacher, she grabs your attention by shouting you and goes, "Oh, what's this?" Thinking that you hadn't paid attention, but you know the answer. You know it. You were just daydreaming a little bit. Class ends. You have a few agreements, disagreements with your friends. You go outside with your friends. You have a bit of a chat. Suddenly you're called to the headmaster's office. Your grandfather's died. He's the CEO of this huge toy company, which everyone knows you for. Everyone knows that you're the granddaughter of this toy company. It's a big deal. He's died. You're like, shit, I'm really close to him. I really loved him. What? Oh no. So then you skip forward and you're sort of like sitting there in front of the funeral. The family is like, they're your family, this is, sitting there. They don't look as upset as you. They give you a moment alone with him. You have a bit of a cry, a bit of a talk to the grave, and eventually you go back. Your dad seems a little cold. Then a lawyer comes along. He reads out. I know, it's a long fucking intro, isn't it? He reads out the will, and it turns out the grandfather has left his house solely to you. Your dad wants you to move into it tomorrow. You think it's a bit soon, but you have to go through it because he's your dad. You have a bit of an argument once you get back to home because the dad and the grandfather, they were kind of all frosty and angry with each other all the time. You never found out why. And as soon as you presses it, your dad slaps you around the cheek, right? So far, this sounds promising. It sounds like a story, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a good start.
Yeah, it's a good fucking tone to set, isn't it? God, I wonder if this is the sort of thing we've been waiting for so long. Fucking spoilers again. Fucking not. So, Yeah, you go up to your room, you cry, you have a bit of a chat with your mates, and then suddenly you go, like, okay, right, well, I need to go. Your dad drives you to this new place after having slapped you. It's a little frosty. He apologizes for what he did last night. You try to press the issue of why your dad and grandfather were so sort of not okay with each other. He doesn't buy it. He's just like, oh, whatever. And then you spend the rest of the car ride in silence. So I've taken you through the first half an hour of the game in about 3 minutes. Right, then, you get to the house. Now, Patrick, I know you've played this. I
Yes.
want you to tell me, what would you think would be a good sort of way of continuing on the story which doesn't actually happen? What
Well, I
would you
think it'd
think
be
would
nice if we progress throughout this girl's life with her getting to know her grandfather better. Maybe she starts picking up some of the family business. She has to get involved in I don't know, the executive life a bit. She has some challenges before her. She gets to know her dad a bit more. Maybe he has some history of being abused by her grandfather that she didn't know about. That'd be a nice kind of continuation of what we had seen so far.
Yeah, or even maybe you see something amiss in the house, like
Oh, or that. Yeah.
yeah, where your grandfather's died. They say that it's natural causes, but you find out that it might not be that. What you definitely don't want to happen is you open the door to five sexy, good-looking teenagers. I use the term good-looking very fucking loosely as well. Teenagers sitting around. They're all covered in blood. And one of them goes, oh, kiss me, my dear. And you go weak at the knees and you have to give in to your man. And then a few of them get up, tell the other one off, and go, oh, by the way, we're incubi, you know, those demons. We feed off sexual energy. And, yeah, we had some kind of run-in thing with the forest and we broke in here. That would be a terrible thing to happen, wouldn't it?
Yes, very terrible.
Yeah, and it fucking does. And oh god, my heart sunk. They were so promising for half an hour. For half an hour, it seemed like someone had bothered to set a tone. They'd set a tone. Right? That's so rare in visual novels. They've gone with a theme and they're like, okay, right, we're going to do this. We're going to make it intriguing. We're going to make it interesting. And suddenly you walk into the house and it's just like, five demons going, yeah, hey, we're sexy, aren't you? Yes, well, we can use our powers and you would wilt away at the knees at our will. I, and then the demons are stereotyped. Oh god, they're all tropes. You've got the sort of nervous teenager one. Yes, a nervous teenager sexual energy feeder demon who's young, a little bit naive, and a little bit silly. You've then got, like, you know, the leader, inverted commas. You've then got the flirt, the really angry one, and the one who's useless, but he's ginger. So
Yeah, I don't know
mean,
why he's involved in the game at all. I don't think he actually said a word.
I know now because, well, because really, they all have different powers. Now, I only learnt convenient power #1. I didn't bother with going through the rest. But the ginger can read minds. Because why not? I never did understand how the mind-reading power works. Because surely if you were in sort of a party, wouldn't you just get a headache very quickly?
I would think.
Yeah, like if you're sitting around 5 or 6 other people and you have to read their mind, because he does say he can't control it, that would be a fucking nightmare, wouldn't it?
Pretty much.
But, oh god, yeah, he shows up and he can read minds for literally no good reason. There is no good reason for him to. It's just like, he does. Convenient power #1, because we need to sort of like advance the plot sometime. And then the next day, after all of this, you pass out after they kiss you, by the way. You decide to let them stay in your house. Just because. Now, have you ever seen a game just ruined so quickly as that?
I may have, but this is the first one in a long time that I've seen just take such a sharp turn.
Yeah, I mean, do you sort of like agree with what I was saying? Because I honestly found the first half an hour really promising. I really did. I thought I was onto a good one.
I enjoyed bits of the first half hour. I would say that I wasn't so excited at the beginning when you were dealing with her classroom life, because I found the characters there very annoying, the two girlfriends that she has.
Oh,
But once we
yeah,
got to the grandfather's death, I was like, oh, this is interesting. And then seeing the father, I'm like, oh, I can kind of get into this. But yeah, pretty much the same as you.
yeah, it like starts up with half an hour of intrigue and then just goes, "Pfft, anyway, we're off, bye. Like, you have sexy demons to worry about now. So I think basically what we're saying here is if you don't care about story, by all means go for it. But
Yeah.
it goes down so quickly. And the demons just, it sort of made me question, is romance really required in every single visual novel? Because this is one I feel so badly could have just done without it. Just, it could have had romance in one hand and then slapped it down with the other and gone, no, bad romance, and stopped and then just continued on. The demons have no reason to exist.
No, they really don't. I think it really would have been good as a standalone game about this young girl and then perhaps a relationship with her father and then her grandfather. That could have been something. But instead, of course, we have to get into romance and paranormal stuff, which is very strange. And I don't think you played the whole thing, but the
God,
whole
no.
story is just ridiculous. It's just... Should I explain the story for the rest of the people? Or should we even get into this game?
By all means, you go, Glen Coco. I'm told that's a trendy reference. I don't actually know what that means, but you go.
Okay, I think you know more about that than even I do, but here we go. All right, so as Chris mentioned, the 5 incubi were attacked at some point and they were injured. Apparently the guy that was attacking them is some devil, because there's a difference between demons and devils in this game, by the name of Malix. And Malix...
Wait, hang on. Isn't the devil normally just like the big overseer guy, like Lucifer?
Devils are also a species in this game, but Lucifer is mentioned in this game as well. He's an entity, but we don't see him in the game itself.
It's an entity. What? All right, just go on. I'll nitpick afterwards.
So yeah, this guy Malix is also voiced by perhaps someone who's trying too hard to do a kind of Vegeta voice and sounds
God,
completely
yeah,
over the top.
Voice acting. Oh, the voice acting. I went into it for a minute and I was like, oh, okay. All right, let's listen to this. And then someone does an evil laugh.
That's the guy I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Someone does an evil laugh and it is the most, terrible thing in the world. And it's just like, it's like, oh, wow. Christ, that wouldn't have even passed in the 90s when bad voice acting was a thing. And the tragic thing is I won't say what, but a friend of mine who's at a development studio, he is doing voice auditions. And the way he does it, he has this director who gets all the best ones and then passes them over to him. And we went through them together. And a lot of them are from this game. And a lot of them are really bad.
Well, I noticed that.
Like, sure, I'm moving around a lot, right? But I'm not being paid to do this. So I feel like I can move around a lot. Like, the sound just goes in and out. These were fucking professional auditions, right? This is my shot. I'm going to be 1 in 80. How do I stand out from the crowd when I'm reading my lines? Stop moving to and from the mic. And there were people, like, these were the best as well. And the best were a lot of people who did Seduce Me, but who didn't have a proper pop filter in their microphone. So every time they said, like Peter Pan, all you could hear is, it's like, oh, God. And these were the people who did Seduce Me, which is why I as soon as I heard the first 2 lines, I was like, oh, God, I remember hearing about this. Nope, off you go. Did you get to, like, further with the voice acting than I did?
I actually left the voice acting on the whole time because I wanted to get the whole experience.
Oh, my God.
It was not pleasant. Oh, it didn't get any better, I'll tell you that much.
I don't know how you did that to yourself. Oh, God. No, it was so bad. But there is, like, no instance of visual novels doing voice acting well anyway. I've said this before. Honey Pop does not fucking count because it's nothing. That's just terrible. Like, how many games have you heard with voice acting? Like, I heard that got a lot of praise for its voice acting. I turned it on for a second and someone read his line out, deadpan. Like, yeah, a murder has just happened, and this guy's sitting here going, "Oh well, I mean, if you want to come along later and show me what you're doing, that'll be fine by me." It's like, a murder's just happened. Why are you speaking like that? You're speaking like you've just, I don't know, sparked up a joint in a cafe and gone, "Yeah, anyway, I'll be at the back here if you need me." Oh, it was so bad. So yeah. Anyway, I did interrupt you. What happened?
That's fine. So yeah, basically in Seduce Me, that whole plot with Malix, the devil guy, because there's a difference, it doesn't really go anywhere. So you find out he's a threat. He pops up once randomly and basically just threatens your character and the incubi and their names, which I don't even remember because they're not important. And yeah, he then kidnaps you at one point later in the game. But the funny thing is, all you have to do is click fight him and you beat his ass, even if you don't have any magic. You just literally beat the shit out of him.
Let's give us some context here. We're normal. We're a normal person who is surprised that demons are in front of them. Mm-hmm. and then suddenly just a devil shows up and we're like, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll just punch you. That'll work, right?
Yeah, I got the choice and I'm like, well, I don't really have any special powers because there is a choice where you can learn magic powers, but I didn't get that point first time I played the game. And so I was just like, I think I'll probably die if I try to fight him, but I want to see what happened. So I fought him and I actually won. And I was shocked.
Wow. Jesus Christ. Oh.
Yeah, so he's basically not even a threat at all, really. I think you beat him up and then his other devil friends are embarrassed for him, so they just take him away back to the devil realm. And that's pretty much the end of his plot point. And then something else happens, which I don't really know if I want to get into that part of the game.
Does anything happen with the grandfather at all? Or is it just 30 minutes of fluff in order to get to a point?
Do you want to know what the grandfathers do with everything? And I'm sure you're going to love the twist that this takes.
Oh, God.
Your grandfather is actually someone that was into devil worshipping or demon worshipping, because there's a difference.
And then he happened...
That's why there's a difference between your father and him. That's why they had a falling out.
Oh, okay. Okay. Does the mother know, out of interest?
They really... I think the mother pops up in like one or two scenes, but you don't ever hear from her again. The father is a bit more development with him, depending on the route you take.
Right. So... Oh my God.
So yeah, you find out eventually that your grandfather was the one that summoned those demons, the incubi, for some reason.
Why did they lie and say they came from the forest?
I don't know.
Why did he leave the house to you? By the way, not going to explain anything, not even in a fucking note. And there are going to be 5, demons when you show up. He didn't think of that bit. He was just like, safety schmafety.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to use this term a lot, but for some reason, he summoned the demons. Then I guess he got sick because it drained his power. He went to the hospital, and then later on he dies, which... Should I bother with avoiding spoilers, or should I go full out onto this? Do people care, I wonder?
Okay, right. Message to Smiters, if you want to play this game, I would skip ahead 5 minutes or until you see the picture on the screen change.
Or you'll just make an annotation, skip ahead. If you can be bothered to do that.
No, there is not a chance that's happening. I'm not sure how active you think I am. I'm fucking lazy. Let's just get that out of the way now. No chance. It'll be when the picture changes. Right. Spoilers now.
Okay. So here we go. If we divide the game up into acts, we'll say the first act is the beginning where you find out your grandfather died and you find out you're going to stay at his house. The second act is learning about the demons and that whole stupid Malik stuff that I just talked about. And the third act is, all of a sudden, for no reason up until this point, you find out that a succubi has appeared. A succubus, or whatever you call them. You know, those female incubuses, basically.
Wait, what's the difference? What's the difference between an incubus and a succubus?
An incubus is a male and a succubus is a female. So it's a female demon.
Okay.
And I just want to start this off by saying the first time you see her, there is a CG of her, and I don't know why,
God,
But the CG in this game
say what I think you're about to say.
is absolutely no. It doesn't have anything to do with nudity or anything. If that's what you're
Oh,
thinking.
God, okay. Yeah. I was basically expecting you to say it's just like this sexy woman. She turns up in nothing but like cloth.
No, no, no. Let me tell you this. The CGs in this game are terrible for some reason. Like, the rest of the game, the art style's
God,
all...
yeah. I totally remember that. Because suddenly it looks like their faces and the stuff on it doesn't
melting.
actually belong to their face anymore. And their necks suddenly become huge. Like, the necks are just like... I'm pretty sure your neck isn't supposed to be a foot long. Like, you should really go and see someone about that. Because the art's all right. It's just suddenly it goes to the CG, and it's like they went anyway. We couldn't hire anyone else, so we just decided, no, we could hire him. We just chose to tell him to do it with his left hand instead.
Yeah, right. So basically you see the CG of this woman, and let me tell you this, it's drawn terribly. She doesn't look attractive at all. She looks like she's, not that there's anything wrong with it, but she looks massive. But the next word from your character is, I saw the most beautiful woman I ever saw. Or something along that line. And I was like, nope, art does not match what we're supposed to see.
Yeah.
So,
oh, God.
So yeah, basically now there's a succubus involved, and she, of course, wants to seduce whatever male you're on the path of. So there's that. And that's the third act of the game. You're competing with a succubus.
Wait, does the succubus also go off sexual energy?
Yeah, same thing. It's basically
So,
the same thing,
don't
just
the
different.
incubuses notice it? Can't they, like,
You would think.
combat it?
I don't think they have an effect on each other, which I think is why she's trying to get with them, because it's some drama involving the demon world and how she's like supposed to be a princess and they're actually demon princes and she wants to hook up with one of them, that kind of thing.
But, like, surely that's got to be a problem as soon as you go into the demon world, that the women could sort of seduce the men and the men don't really have much of a say in it.
Well, I don't think they have any effect on each other. Like, I don't think the men have an effect on the women in the demon world. I don't think the women have an effect on the men. It's only humans.
Why is that competition then? If they're supposedly really into us, and then suddenly someone comes along who's not vastly less attractive and starts to try and hit on her, what's the challenge again? Do remind me. Why should we be worried?
There really isn't. It doesn't really go anywhere. You have a few arguments with this woman. There's this random scene where she goes to your school and is a substitute teacher for the day, which goes nowhere. You just have some conversation about the Little Mermaid, and you argue about like the original story of the Little Mermaid, and it's kind of a pointless scene. But yeah, so eventually you win out and she leaves, and it's the end.
Wow.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, also, you find out that she's the cause of your grandfather's death in one of the routes. Because she came into the world and then she killed off your grandfather.
Wait, I thought he died because he didn't have any energy left.
Yeah, the demons drained him of his energy, but then apparently she came after them, and then she finished him off with the rest of his energy. But it was unintentional.
Okay. It's hard to know what to say after you say something like that. How does it end? I presume you got an ending where everyone lived happily ever after.
There are multiple routes. There's one route specifically where you don't get any guys, and then it's kind of a nice finishing arc to your father, because basically at one point your father comes to the mansion and you actually talk it out with him, and he finally accepts your decision to not want to go into business and do what you want with your own life, which is probably like the best ending of the game, except there's no development towards that in the game itself. It just comes out of nowhere.
Something I didn't quite get out of that is she does say quite early on that she doesn't want to really do anything with this toy company, but then she doesn't really say what else she wants to go into. She just appears to want to piss around.
Piss around with 5 men in her home. Pretty much.
Yeah, all right. Maybe piss around's the wrong term if it's 5 men. That could be misconstrued.
That's a different game.
Yeah, that's a different game altogether. Well, I'm not saying that. It's called Seduce Me. You can't blow that name up more than it already is.
Oh, yes, and I didn't mention this. In one of the routes at the end of the game, which is actually, you also have a choice to romance the succubus. If you romance her at the end, there's a final line where I think she says something along the line of, "Oh, you intrigue me," and then your character responds, "Don't you mean seduce me?" Roll credits.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Oh, it sounds so bad. I am going to play more of these games in future and not just quit so easily. But so far, my decisions not to appear to have been more than justified. Go on then. Rate out of 300 billion trillion.
I'm gonna do what game journalists now do these days and not issue a rating. I'm gonna say Seduce Me had some potential, but it was squandered early on.
No. That's sugarcoating. If something had potential, it means it doesn't have potential. It may once have, but it doesn't anymore.
Well, that's essentially what I'm saying. It could have went somewhere, but it didn't. It could have been good, but it's not. It's just basically another one of these romance games where you have a few options and you decide which one you want, which boy matches your desires, and then you pursue them. It's kind of the same thing that you have in Dandelion and a million other games, so really, if you skip this game, you're not missing much because there's a bunch of games that do the same thing.
Yep,
And it doesn't have anything unique.
It doesn't do anything by itself well.
The whole Incubus thing doesn't really matter at all, other than like the first scene. It doesn't really play out at all because they don't, at least the ones I did, they don't use their powers on you, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, God. All right, well, I think I'm going to say that this game is like Dover, right? You sort of, because I don't do scores out of 10, never wankers, but you sort of walk around, you're taking in the scenery, and you're going, God, this is lovely, and then suddenly you fall off the white cliffs of Dover into the sea. That was basically my, sort of role during the game. Half an hour of loveliness, and then just dipped horrendously.
Mm-hmm.
Right, shall we move on to the next game, shall we? We played again. I think
yeah.
you played here, Regeria Hope. I had to stop.
You played like a minute or 5, maybe.
No, I got about 25 minutes into this game. So basically, do you know what Phoenix Wright is, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a few people may have heard of this game. It's kind of a thing that's a bit popular, and I'm sure many people have heard of.
Yeah, good. Well, basically, Regeria Hope is Phoenix Wright. You know when people say, I'm inspired by a game? Yeah, this is really taking that to a new sort of level. I couldn't play it because it was annoying me. Purely because the tutorial was really annoying. I was just like, okay, I want to get on with it. Okay, finally, it's oh no, it hasn't. It's explained something.
Because you've never played a Phoenix Wright game.
It's oh, okay, no, it's stopping me. Oh, maybe hit. No, it's stopping me. Oh, no, it's telling me the answer here. Is it? No, yeah, they're telling me what to say again. And then, for no good reason, they go, anyway, you've got 10 minutes. You've got 10 minutes to do this. And this is real time, by the way. So you've just got 10 minutes for the court case. And I hate arbitrary time goals. Just when someone slaps a timer on something and goes, anyway, you got this amount of time to do it in. Why? Can I not have more? But apparently not. But yeah, it starts with some really weird murder, and the guy's really upset because his wife was murdered on the wedding day, and then he goes, I did it! And then you have to disprove that he didn't actually do it, and it's fucking easy. And I don't know how it goes on from there, just because I had to stop. The art is... The characters look alright. They look a bit sort of, like bog standard style, sort of skill. And then nothing else appears to have done well. They just really couldn't be bothered with the rest of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think the game, the story as you mentioned, you could probably figure it out just from looking at the first thing they show you. What is going to happen.
Yeah, basically. I mean, hang on. It even says here in the bio, if we just read the first line, Regeria Hope is a visual novel where you play as a female lawyer who must prove her clients innocent of crimes they did not commit, similar to the Phoenix Wright series of games.
Similar.
It's not similar.
Or entirely the same.
It's copied, and even that, not very well. Apparently it's episodic as well. Did you get past the first trial?
As far as I know, that's all that's in the game.
Yeah, so basically this is an episode 1 of a game, and chances are it won't have an episode 2 because it didn't yeah, come on, because I've seen a lot of people do this, and if episode 1 doesn't explode and suddenly they don't have worldwide sort of attention on their game, they don't bother. And I think this is what this is going to do. It basically just wasn't very good at all. Also, apparently there's voice acting. Patrick, can you ask me how good the voice acting was?
I didn't really listen to it much because I just skimmed through the whole thing, but from what I think I remember of it, it wasn't anything to write home about or even want to think about.
It was shit. So yeah, anyway, let's... Out of 10, if you really, 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 really love Phoenix Wright games and you don't mind playing worse versions of Phoenix Wright games, then this is the game for you. If not, I wouldn't bother.
I would say just play a Phoenix Wright game at this point.
Yes.
Don't think it's plenty.
Yeah, just replay a Phoenix Wright game, right? It must have been a while. Right. So, this is... We're moving on, of course. Apparently, according to Patrick, the game he liked out of all of these.
This is the one I liked the most out of any of them. Let's just specify the most out of these ones.
Exactly. Let's go through the bio quickly. Freak-Quency, known to most people as a popular virtual reality game. So why is it so many of its players are being killed? It doesn't help that your brother is missing and turns out to be an avid Freak-Quency player. Where is he? Is he dead? Alive? Just why are all the Freak-Quency players dying? So, before I explain anything more, it's the most convoluted reason ever, and it took me a second to do it. To sort of like find out what, but imagine if someone played a game called Final Fantasy that was an RPG and it was safe. Okay, cool, we got that? Right, now imagine if someone else created something called Final Fantasy, which was all about combating. Yeah, okay, cool. These two Freak-Quency games are completely different. They got no reason to be the same. I still don't understand why it's the same name, but bloody blah. I'm trying to think how it starts. You start when...
In this game, you want some help?
Oh god, I'm trying to think. You find yourself at a town centre with friends after school, and your mum calls you and goes, okay, could you pop by your brother? He normally comes by like 2 or 3 times a month, but hasn't in the past 3 weeks. And you're like, oh, okay, sure. And then you go off to his place and find out that he's no longer living there, and he was a Freak-Quency player. And you don't know whether he's alive or dead, bloody blah. And then you turn up to one of these Freak-Quency things because he gets a text to his phone. Now, in this place, you nearly die because something happens. Something rampages one of the Freak-Quencies, because the Quency are the people who control the freaks. Imagine Pokemon, right?
It's kind of similar to Yu-Gi-Oh as well, I would say. Especially in the fact that
I've never done Yu-Gi-Oh. I was a Pokemon hipster. I was like, Pokemon came out before, therefore it's better. Everything else is ripping it off. Because, you know, I was a naive little 6-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
And Yu-Gi-Oh might have come out before, to be fair, but whatever. But... yeah, imagine Quency's and Pokemon trainers, Freaks are Pokemon. Now, one of the Pokemon goes rampaging and almost kills you, and you've got like, there's a scene where you're sitting there, right? Blood all over you. Something happens. It sort of like crushes your neck slightly, and then blood is coming out of your mouth. And I don't mean sort of like in driplets. You are vomiting God knows how much blood, right? It's like someone stuck I don't know, like a inch both ways wide hose inside of you and spurted out blood, right? You're fucked. There's no chance you're surviving this ever. And then a voice in your head goes, oh, well, why don't you just say it? And you say Freak-Quency somehow amongst all the blood in your mouth. And your Pokemon comes out and fights everything off. Once you've done that, you're fucked. Because he is going to slowly eat away at one of four things. It's talent, memories, intelligent, and dead end. Dead end means at the end you just die. It doesn't actually say what they take away, but you just die apparently. And then the other things it just eats away until you have nothing of it. In order to cure yourself from these things, you have to play the game. So you have to play against other Freak-Quency players who are trapped in the same dilemma you are in order to gain an antidote. And I can only assume the person who... Because they do explain very early on, it's just like, oh, well, if we could have mass-produced it, we would. So that means that there's someone sitting at the top of this who's a very sick pervert going, they're fighting for their lives. It's just like masturbating under his desk or something, right? Now, the game goes on a little bit, and then I think like a robber starts nicking a jewelry shop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that happens.
That happens. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then you sort of go on once he runs away, and you get taken in by the police. Now, once you're in the police, suddenly your two friends start acting weird. They don't remember what just happened 5 minutes ago. And then you go with the policeman. And it turns out that the police are also in on this. So it's a sort of thing they're trying to keep under wraps, because the way freaks get at people is through electronic devices, and then if they found this out... So, like, it all sounds completely competent at the moment, right? It sounds fine. You know what's coming as well. You know I'm not going to like this. Right. It then starts to fall down a little bit, because suddenly it becomes a stat grinder.
Yes.
And a fucking slow one at that. Jesus Christ. I leveled up the stat called Charm for 4 days in a row. I shit you not, it went up like 200s of the bar. I was like, this is going to take forever. Fuck everything about this. And then fucking dating sim again. I was like, no, why? Like, you have a freak which they've got more than good enough sort of proof to think, right, this guy, this demon's going to kill you at some point, right? He's going to kill you. You have a dead end Pokemon. He will kill you. And then you're just like, oh, well, I'll spend the next 3 days, I suppose, buying this little girl crying. Because, yeah, no, don't get me wrong. You can move around, right? You can go to the shop, to the mall. You can go home. You can go to the school. You can go to the train station, the subway, and, you know, all these different people are in all these different places. You can go to a club. You can actually move around. You've no idea how much I've wanted a visual novel where you can just move around, choose where you want to go. That's really cool. But God, it just becomes a dating simulator. It's like, oh, okay, so we've just forgotten about this thing trying to kill me, have we? I'm just going to spend the next 4 days buying this girl ice cream, and then, for no good reason, giving this person my old jacket because you forgot a Valentine's Day an anniversary present. All the other things in it, and meeting some guy who was in with it at the police station at the back of the subway, and he's just like, oh, I kill, and I'm gritty, and I'm in no way, what a stereotype. No, I have no idea what you're on about. And then this is the thing which made me all out for, right? The guy who robbed the store, right? At one point, he shoots your fucking friend. And if you don't get the freak out quick enough in order to try and do something that your freak, this is your Pokemon that you have, to try and stop it and bend the bullet round, she dies, right? That bullet goes straight through the middle of her eyebrows, because there's a fucking CG in which it happens as well, right? That guy, he tries to come in through the fucking window, right? Now, no matter what you push, you get several choices here. No matter what, you get several choices. You can, like, as soon as you see him approach, you can scream for help, or you can try to shut the window. I was like, well, if I try and shut the window, he's just going to outpower me. That's probably not a thing, so I'll scream. Oh, okay, no, he just, like, grabbed me from behind and, you know, put his hand over my mouth. I was like, all right, I wonder what happens if I close the window. Oh, okay, the same thing. Okay, cool. And then your mum comes up going, oh, well, I heard some commotion, dear. Is there anything wrong? From the other side of the door. For whatever reason, people like these in suspenseful moments never open the door. Never. The door is never open. They'll just knock from the other side and go, hello? I've told my mum explicitly, if there ever sounds like there's something wrong in my room, fucking open the door. Don't just knock on it first and go, is there something wrong, dear? Because there's always going to be something wrong when this situation happens. Now, you can either choose to be silent or bite his finger. Now, if you bite his finger, he keeps you silent and the same thing happens. And if you keep silent, he keeps you silent and the same thing happens. And I think he pretends to be you and calls your mum or something. This is never
I think
quite
that's what
right.
they're supposed to be implying, yeah.
Yeah, and he calls you mum, and he gets the mum to believe that you're out somewhere and drunk. Again, never revisited. The mum doesn't ever come up to you and go, so you said you were drunk the other night, but then I came there and you weren't there. You were just in bed. Never questioned again. And then, after this guy... Okay, right. Let's just name all the bad things he's done, shall we? Shall we just go through them all? Right.
Let's.
So he's tried to rob a store. He shot one of your friends. He ran away from the police. He broke into your home. He stopped you from speaking and possessed something to make your mother go away. I think that would be more than enough reason to avoid him. Right? To not like him, not really trust him. No, you get some more choices when he goes, oh, don't be like that. I'm really hungry. Fucking what? You fucking what? I couldn't give a fuck. What? Have you seen what you've just done? I couldn't give a fuck if you're hungry. And then he goes on, and he goes, and you go, no, get out. And he goes, oh, I'll only be half an hour. Fucking rushes down to your kitchen. And he goes, oh, do you want something to eat? He says, like frying on the side. No, I fucking don't. I will choose the no option. Get out of my house. Your stomach rumbles. Well, actually, I am really hungry. Have you not seen what he's done? Like, why are you agreeing? And then you eat something and then then you get a choice. Oh, how was my cooking? What do you mean, how was I couldn't give a fuck. But then it goes on, and then he says, oh, yeah, anyway, I'll be around the train station if you ever want to meet me. I like you. You're quite quirky, you are. And you as the character just go, oh, well, okay, well, maybe I'll see you around at some point. Are you fucking mental? Did you not see the stuff that he did? He tried to kill... He shot someone!
Yeah, this part of the game was completely crazy. At first, I thought it was going to have something to do with her brother. Like, it was going to be her brother in a secret identity. Yeah. But I can tell you guys this much. It's not.
I thought they'd continue with the plot, but it just comes to stat grinder and romance.
It has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, and I was like, what just happened there? What, this guy did all those bad things, and now why? Huh? I'm so confused. And I think that's pretty much the time where I was just like, trusty old Alt F4, is it? Yep. And then I went back and did some more in the second session. And I went to the train station, and because it was a Tuesday, he's only available on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So he didn't have time for you on Tuesday, despite sitting around on the train. And I'm trying to think of words to explain it. Convoluted, I think, would be a good one. But I was really upset as well, because he had messaged me on Skype going, oh, well, I think this game actually shows a lot of promise. It's the best one we're doing. And I went, it's kind of the best one we're doing, don't get me wrong, but it's not good, is it? Like, it's really not. I couldn't play. I went through, like, I think a week and a half, and there was still nothing with the story. Oh, and the policeman as well. You get to, like, prang along with him every time. And he rang me because I think I hung out with him once. And he rings you on a Sunday, because apparently on a Saturday you still have school, but on a Sunday you don't. And he rings you, and he lets you know when you originally speak to him, if I hear anything about your brother who's missing, I'll let you know. And the first thing he does, he goes, hey, do you want to hang out sometime? And he goes, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll come around now. So you go to the mall. And he goes, oh, I haven't heard anything about your brother. I thought we were just hanging out. And she goes, oh, okay. Fucking next line. Oh, hi! Oh, my God. They didn't script it properly, did they? It's scripted every time to when I see him, he just has to say, oh, nothing about your brother. Oh, okay. Hey! Oh, and they did that annoying thing at the beginning of the game as well.
Which
where is the game set? Could you tell me?
Japan, America.
Japan, America. Okay, cool.
Like all games.
Yeah, like all games. Everyone speaks English, but they, for some reason, just slip into Japanese. This game being no exception. You spend the whole time going, oh, hi, Emmy-chan. Oh, hi, Son-chan. No, just, you have American names. American people don't speak like that. You all look American. Why not speak American? Why does it always have to turn to the whole, oh, hello, Emmy-chan. Oh, hello, Son-chan. Ha! Aren't I so great? How much anime? No!
Yeah, and not to go back too much, but the same thing also happened in, what was it, Seduce Me, where like a couple of the characters randomly had Japanese names. And even one of them was supposed to be Italian, and she had a Japanese name. So, don't ask me. Games love to do this for some reason.
I don't get it. So basically, after this very long rant, it's your turn to try and tell me why you thought it was a good game. And then after like 5 minutes, I'm going to disagree with you and tell you why you're wrong.
All right, so I'm not going to argue that the whole stat grinder thing that comes out after like playing for, I don't know, was it like 15 minutes or so is good, because it's not. I don't enjoy stat grinders very much at all. Unless it's something like Long Live the Queen, where it's something which is the whole point of the game, but I don't like these stories where they build up a story.
You get little tests throughout the throughout Long Live the Queen, throughout the whole of the game, and the point is you have to be certain things at certain things, otherwise you can't do this.
That's the point of the game.
Path. Long Live the Queen does that because there are so many paths. There are so many things you can do. This doesn't. It's just a stat grinder for, yeah, well, they'll like you eventually.
Yeah, just for the sake of it. You have to get certain stats to do certain events, which don't ask me why.
It's to flesh the game out, but stat grinders never add anything to a game.
I guess people just want to pad them.
Yeah, I'm not playing a visual novel though, and I imagine most people aren't playing visual novels because they really, really, really like the story, but they wondered if they could just sort of interrupt the story with game mechanics which are really dull and take forever. Always Remember Me did this. Always Remember Me is an example of why I think I must be mad and loads of people just have better taste than me, but I thought Always Remember Me was shite. Have you ever played it before?
No, but I've heard things about it which aren't positive.
Yeah, it starts off, your boyfriend, blah, 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 you get into an accident, he has amnesia. And
yeah, I remember. I think I saw that one of yours, yeah.
Yeah, and then you spend a whole month trying to get him back. It's a fucking stat grinder. There's like 2 bits of story in this whole month. The beginning, and then the end skips to like 3 or 6 months into the future. It doesn't add anything. All I'm doing is trying to desperately get enough of stat X so I can impress boy Y. I couldn't give a fuck. Just make the story more interesting. Just spend more time telling me the story, and it's interesting. And but yeah, anyway, sorry. Do tell me. Freak-Quency. It's interesting. You got 5 minutes. Go.
So yeah, Freak-Quency. I like the start. I kind of like the beginning with the direction of the game, with this kind of Pokemon / Yu-Gi-Oh kind of thing they're doing. It also, I like it because normally I don't watch a lot of anime or manga, don't get me wrong, people. But it's got a bit of that mixed with Death Note with the whole freak things, and I kind of like that a bit. Hold on a second, I just have a dog barking in the background, which is kind of annoying. I don't know if you can hear that. But anyway, yeah, the story from there, I like the angle where you have to look for your brother. It kind of begins with something that's concrete. There's some goal that you have in mind, and it's a good start, which a lot of the other games, I have to say, don't have something concrete that you start off with. From there, the part with the guy in the store, I kind of didn't like that either. I have to agree with Chris there. It didn't really make a lot of sense, especially because that character later becomes a dating option. And
Yeah.
don't ask me why.
I gathered as much.
It makes no sense at all. But yeah, I liked the start, and I think that's when I first mentioned it to you when I just started playing it. I'm like, this is actually kind of interesting. I like it. But then the freaking stat grinding begins, and I had no interest in that whatsoever. And it just is used to delay the story, to make it feel longer. I mean, the whole dating part, it's kind of half dating, half getting to know people, because you do learn more of their backstory through the so-called dates that you go on with them. And some of it does, well, most of it actually has to do with the Freak-Quency game itself, the in-game game, where they're competing for this so-called drug. And it does enhance the characters. There is development of those characters, which is good. But the biggest problem is I don't feel like the main character develops at all throughout the game. She's just kind of static, and she just reacts to everything, which is probably the biggest problem I have with it, aside from the stat grinding itself.
And the fact that one of the characters makes no sense at all.
Yeah, that as well.
Yeah, but go on.
So should I get into the ending? Should we do a little spoiler things for this? Because not much happens in between here and the end of the game.
If people want to play it, by all means, go. But I'm not putting a spoiler warning here. Just okay. you go for it.
So anyway, as you progress towards the end of the game, you have a couple of like different battles, which I don't think you can even lose, although I could be wrong. I think they just happen, and I don't know if your stats make a difference at all for them. They didn't seem to me because I wasn't even trying.
What were your stats? Were they like halfway raised, or was one all the way done? Or
Well, that's the thing about the game, is that the stats are incredibly easy to raise. I had them all maxed out, I think, like 2 months before the game even ended.
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah, I don't think the stats really matter at all, and it's just used to pad the game to make it feel longer, which it doesn't need. Let's see, where was I? So, yeah, you do a couple of battles. One of the romance options, he ends up being a freak himself. Like, he appears as a human, but you find out that he actually has a secret identity. He's actually a freak. And apparently freaks can have other freaks, and that's a thing. So
what? How does that make any sense? Surely, the whole idea of these Pokemon is that they sort of like fight for you and chill for you, but they slowly chip away at your health and then do that. Can Pokemon do that with other Pokemon?
I don't know. But the thing is, I say it's kind of similar to Death Note. I don't know if you ever saw that. It was a manga and anime that was popular about 10 years ago, I guess.
I saw the first episode about 5 or 6 years ago, and it did not appeal to me at all.
So the idea behind Death Note was that you had these death gods that could absorb the life of other creatures. And it's kind of similar to that in that the freaks, like, they have to absorb other people's energies to extend their own lives. So that's what they do. They latch on to other people. They can even latch on to other freaks to absorb their energy. So that's where that comes from. I'm pretty sure it's lifted almost entirely out of Death Note because the style's even similar. But yeah. So eventually you find out that what happened was someone opened up a portal to the Death God realm, or the Freak realm, or whatever the hell you want to call it. And that's how they first got into our world in the first place. And then basically they started this conspiracy because there's actually a fifth type of freak, which is able to mind control people. And basically they've infiltrated levels of government and the police force and that kind of thing. And that's where the whole games come from.
Sorry, I was smacking my forehead against the desk. You were saying something?
Oh, no, just nothing important at all.
Oh, okay.
So, towards the end of the game, here's the twist at the end. The twist is your character's actually adopted, and she happens to be the freak that opened the portal in the first place.
Hang on. I'm adopted and a freak.
Yes. That's the first thing you want to hear in your life. You're adopted, and you're also a freak.
Yeah. Oh, God. So, hang on. You're a freak.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a freak chipping... How does a freak not know he's a freak?
I don't know, because there's two freaks that actually are freaks, but they start off being humans. Or I guess they don't start off being humans, but they're presented as humans first to you during the game. So apparently freaks don't always know that they're freaks. I guess that's the case in your protagonists.
Devilish looks not fucking give it away.
I don't know why. It's really bizarre. I didn't like that twist, obviously. You can't tell. But yeah, that's what happens at the end.
If you make a twist, at least make it clever. At least make it consistent with what you're doing. Don't make it completely absurd. Oh, Jesus Christ. I hope next time we're going to play some good games and not these. I hope someone releases something good. I really do.
Well, looking at the last week, there really wasn't much, so hopefully, you said next month is, what did you call it? In March?
NaNoRenO.
Yeah, there we go.
NaNoRenO. We're going to go through all the games well, I'm going to. I'm not sure about Patrick. Patrick will give it a go. He's dedicated like that. But hopefully going to do most of the games, if not all of the games in NaNoRenO, and talk about them, basically, like we've done now, and probably take the piss and try to vaguely be amusing at points, maybe, sometimes. But, oh, God. There were not very good games this time, were they? Really? Jesus. All right, well, if for the next episode you have any suggestions that you'd like us to play, basically the thing we're going to do, we want them to pretty much all be new other than maybe one or two old ones. And we'll go back and play those. Now, obviously, Dice was the old one this week and everything else was newish. So do let us know if there's anything else you'd like us to play. Episode 1.5 is going to be on Patrick's channel, which is...
Oh, my channel is Tryinmorning. Tryinmorning.
Yeah, which, I'm going to be honest, you should know that. I've put it in the title.
That'll help out too.
Yeah, if you don't know that, and it's in the description, yeah, I'm not sure.
Good luck.
I'm not sure you should really be trusted with computers. You should really just step away right now. But yeah, it will be on his channel, and we will do the next one there, and then probably a NaNoRenO thing after it. Patrick, have you enjoyed doing this? I've enjoyed doing this.
Yeah, it was good getting to let out some steam after having played this and having this brew in my mind for like a week or two.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to finally sort of just rant and be like, this was so bad. So, no, it's good to finally get there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I do hope you've enjoyed that. Do, if you're new to the channel, I'm unsure why you're not subscribed to me. So go and do that and go do his Tryinmorning as well. He needs it more than I do, if I'm honest. I'm famous at this point. He needs it. No one's heard of him.
No one's ever heard of me. No.
No one's ever heard. I don't even know what your real name is. So...
No, he hasn't referred to me at all during this episode.
No, not at all. So anyway, Patrick, on that note, should we end the episode? I think we should.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Unless you want to do the last thing where we ask them if they have any questions or suggestions for the next one. Because I don't know if we're going to still do that.
Yeah, no, that's the point. Feedback would be lovely, considering this is our first episode.
Indeed.
Feedback. As long as it's not something completely fucking ridiculous. We'll also answer questions, but they have to be visual novel questions. What do you think about such and such? It can't be, what do you use to record?
When are you going to play this game?
Yeah, when are you going to play on this game? I stopped answering those questions deliberately, and then I haven't got any of them, so that's wonderful. So yeah, we'll call it a wrap now. Thank you very much for listening all our way through our little rambles through 5 games. Appreciated very much. And yeah, we'll see you in episode 1.5 on Patrick's channel.
All right, thank you very much, everyone, and take care.
Take care and goodbye, wankers.